Good afternoon. It's Beatrice. And look what we have here. Can you see that? This is the oldest orchid I've had. See all that white stuff on there? That's some kind of fungus thing. And it sucks the juice out of the... I don't know if that's spider mites or not. Really don't know for sure what it is. But we're going to wash everything good. And I'm going to sterilize the bark. I'm going to wash with soap and water. I'm a great believer in Dawn for most everything. Disclaimer up front, I am not an expert. I have had orchids for, I don't know, 6-8 years. And before that, a long time before that, I had them fairly regularly. But I am in no shape or form an expert. I did have an infestation of this earlier, and I lost all my other orchids. I just got gifted a new one. We'll have to keep it someplace isolated from all of this. Okay, I think I've got most of the white stuff gone, and I'm going to take some plants are amazingly resilient, and given half a chance, they'll bounce back and they can protect themselves and all the rest of it. But when they get stressed, they're more vulnerable to everything, and it's nature's way of, if a plant gets sick, nature's gonna find some way to send it on its way. Now, on the shelf above this was my parsley and basil that got spider mites bad with big webs everywhere. They didn't have this white stuff, they had webs. Oh, God. So I don't know that they're related, but this, I think, had gotten dried out a little bit. And you know, in the wintertime, you know, it's like 40% humidity in the house, and the things just dry out a whole lot faster. I mean, I'm absolutely stunned at how much water I'm having to put on some of my plants, especially the gardenia. I have to put on half a gallon every day. So let's see if we can get this to separate. Doesn't want to come out. Look at that. See, the roots come out and dug in. Oh. I suppose if I was really plastic about this, I would also use Clorox to disinfect this, but I think I'm just going to use soap and water. I'm going to inspect these roots to get rid of the dead ones. And I'm going to sterilize the bark. And the way I do that is I put it in an oven at about 150 and leave it for 3 hours. Because in this case, we had some infection going on. rinse these now that I've got them all soapy. You can see all right. Okay, so we're going to rinse this really good. I don't think the soap would hurt the thing, but okay. So I'm going to strain this and get as much water off of it as I can, and put it on the cookie tray and stick it in the oven, and we'll look at the roots. Soak up some of the moisture. We're going to put it on a paper towel. So putting it in the oven is not to dry it out, it's to sterilize it. So any bacteria or fungus that has gotten mixed up with this will get deactivated. Okay, so that's the purpose of doing this. Orchid people will tell you they change this out every so often, and some of them say you should take a look at your roots every year, and we'll do that now. Let me stick this in the oven. Okay, I'm gonna have one of those fancy electric ovens that the lowest heat you can set it on is 170, which is interesting. I don't know who decides that that's their minimum. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Let me get my printers and scissors. have a fair amount of dead stuff here. Can you see all right? No. So I'm going to do a bit now, and I'll look at it again in a while after it's dried up. You know, I'm going to set it a thing of water here and let it really soak up and get well hydrated again. Some of the Oregon ladies on YouTube from the Philippines, they soak some of their orchids, depending on the kind it is, overnight in a bucket of water. So I don't think they drown like, you know, some plants, they need the soil to be loose around their roots so that they can breathe oxygen. So I don't know about all that. But see how that looks dead there? But that little thing in the middle, it's like a little pipe, and that's green down there. So I'm not going to cut that because obviously, you know, it's still functioning. Who knew, right? Looks pretty dreadful. Okay, let's rinse this off again. So I'll leave this in here for an hour and a half while the bark is doing its thing. Maybe I'll leave the bark in for 3 hours. I think, you know, you have to use your own judgment about that sort of thing. But I think in the past when I brought bark in from outside and prepared it to be used inside, I always did it for 3 hours. We don't want to keep that. We're not going to keep that. That would be contaminated if the bark is contaminated. Okay, so the leaves on this, in spite of all of that, I think it's a fungus that was on there. The leaves haven't gotten wilty yet from. This one looks a little bit splotchy. So maybe we'll be able to save the plant. Let's hope so, huh? So clean up our area here. You know, life is interesting. The reason I love orchids is because when they bloom, the blossoms last for maybe 3 months. That's a marvelous return on your investment of time and energy, right? You'd spend what you'd spend for a bouquet of flowers, you can spend on an orchid that's going to flower for 3 months, and you take care of it, it'll flower again in 3 or 4 months. That's a huge return on your investment of time and energy. So we shall check this out and see how it does. Thank you for sharing, and we'll do it again. Thank you.